you.
Okay, and I apologize. I got on at 10 minutes of 7, figuring that no problem. This was going to be easy. It was going to be ready. I was going to let everybody in at 7 o'clock. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So, participants: Joan, Karen, Rebecca, Kathy, Elena. Joy was going to call in, she told me, but we have a quorum, so we can officially start the meeting at 7. So, on the agenda, the first thing I wanted to talk about was under communications. Hope and I did have a meeting with Erica. And first part of the meeting, Erica just gave me some things about being chair to help me be a better chair. Still can't get in the meeting till 20 past 7. But then brought Troy into the meeting, and the discussion was about plowing the parking lot. Troy explained that the parking lot is extremely difficult to plow because it's not a rectangle. It has all those little out things, the sections of parking spaces. And so, particularly in front of the building, you can't just go in and plow directly into those, because that would plow onto the sidewalk and we can't plow. So you have to go in sideways, and when you go in sideways, it does not clean completely, and so it does leave things in the corners. And when he comes in from the road, the 74 side toward the front of the building, the snow does get pushed up onto the flag. Is at the other end towards the road, the other end of that sidewalk, snow does get built up there. But even if he wasn't building snow up in piles there, he said that there was no way to avoid salt. Those things are going to get sprayed with salt. And so the thing that needs to be discussed is, if these gardens are going to be messed up every single time it snows, should we talk to somebody about just planting new stuff every single spring and not worrying about having perennials like the rose bushes in there that are going to get destroyed? That's something that we can talk to the garden club, or Karen, who did the butterfly garden, and I know Deb has a connection at one of the nurseries. We can talk to them about that when spring shows up. Okay. The other thing that was a concern was the curbs, and Troy said that curbs get destroyed all over town as soon as the weather gets good. His guys go around and they fix all these curbs. So the curb will get fixed once the weather is good enough. Okay. Yes, Elena.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Sorry, didn't have a chance to say hello. My question is, why suddenly we started to have these problems last 2 years and we never had them before? The library is already on that place with the same garden, with the same plants. Nothing new is there. It never was harmed in any way in winter. Why did we started to I just want to understand that. Why suddenly it started to get damaged? So maybe there are ways to do it careful, how it was done previous years.
Like I said, it's been done the same way every single year. So I don't know what it is that's different about this year that you guys are seeing that different. But if it really is something that's different, we need to document it. We need to put it in writing, and we need to specifically meet with Troy and discuss that particular issue. Because according to Troy, it's been done exactly the same way all the time. It's just the best way he can do it, the way the parking lot is designed.
Karen, I'm sorry. Can you see us?
I I can see you guys and I can,
Okay, well, I didn't know because I didn't know how to get your attention. Okay, are they using a big town truck or are they using a smaller pickup truck with a plow?
as far as I know, they're using the big truck, and that's an issue right
It's, I'm sorry, I couldn't understand what you said. As far
Can
as
I,
you know,
Karen Ann, can I answer
Yeah.
that? So
Yes.
there is a pickup truck and then there is a larger truck.
Mhm.
You know, something between the two trucks. So it's dependent on the staff that's there. You know, but it's regardless of the truck that they're using. It's not just that it's not an easy place to
Mhm.
plow. We are using a different salt, more of a treated road salt. So that salt could be having some impacts on the plantings you're having. Curb occasionally gets hit. And then when we're able to replace that in the spring, we do. We have always done so. Anytime it's damaged, we will replace it. And Troy had said that to Debbie and Hope previously before your last meeting. So yes, curb happens. They try really hard not to hit the curb, but occasionally it happens, and it happens in different areas of our town. And then we do repair what was damaged from us. So you're going to get snow built up in that area. It's not as easy as to just pick it up and take it away. We don't have the tools by which to do that. And so I would ask that you, if you have specific concerns, that you bring them to our attention and we can address them in a proper forum. The meeting that you had last, I have lots of issue with that. And I spoke with both Debbie and Hope and Karen Ann regarding your last meeting. And so, you know, if you can give those concerns to us, the last snowstorm, well, after that meeting, I was actually out with Troy and we did, you know, take a drive through all of the parking lots to see exactly how it's plowed. So, you know, I think at some point we'd ask you to know that our staff takes great care by which to do snow removal in town. Their intent is never to harm anything, and public safety is their first concern. And you know, your walkways and your parking lots have been safe and passable. And occasionally you may not like how the snow goes, but aesthetics is not the main goal in snow removal. And so I just want you to keep that in mind. But it really, Jonah, at the end of the day, your question was about trucks. They're a regular pickup or kind of mid-size between the pickup and the large snow plow. And it depends on which driver is in the library at that time.
Yeah, it also, the size of the truck will determine how easy it is for that
Sure.
person.
I mean, I
You
was
know.
with Troy in his pickup truck, which is a regular pickup truck with a plow, and it was not easy. In the larger area of the parking lot is easy, but when you get into the front area,
Yeah.
it is very difficult. The more snow you have, when you add ice into that, so
Yeah, I'm wondering, in some places you can pull the snow out with the plow and then push it in another way.
yeah.
That
where
happens
you're,
someplace, but I don't know if they've tried that or.
they have those sections are very small. You try to get a plow in there, it's challenging. And so I ask you all to, you know, trust that this is their job. If there's something that's not working, we try to rectify that, but you may not like the way it looks or like the way we put the snow. But this is what these guys do, and you know, they do it well. Troy knows his work, and I've shared this with Karen Ann and with Debbie and Hope. I took great issue with you all saying that they've destroyed the library. I think that was a gross overstatement, and that is not the case. I certainly went to the library myself to see the damage that you all spoke of, and so I would just once again ask that you bring your concerns forward this way, and those statements can be certainly damaging.
okay, Elena, yes?
Yes, thank you. So I would like to just comment a little bit, Erika. I don't know. First of all, I did not see it myself. I have to admit it. I just take it from the words of the directors. But as I understood, that the problem where the snow was stored has nothing to do with aesthetics. But it was stored, was placed on the place where it collects water, and water goes to the weak spot in our foundation, and it causes flooding in our basement. That's where the problem was. One of the so it's not aesthetic. So that's how I understood it. So I just want to make sure that aesthetics has nothing to do with it except the destroying plants, but we could survive destroying plants definitely.
Yeah, so we removed the snow from the walkways, and you have a whole other issue with why you're getting flooding, and it's not because of the snow removal done by our Public Works Department. So I think you all have to have that conversation separate. That flooding issue is not because of snow removal from your parking lots from Public Works. So I think you all will need to address that in a separate manner. You may be under that impression, Elena, but that is inaccurate.
I specifically asked Troy about that, and they said they do not push snow there, because if they pushed snow there, it would be blocking a walkway that is required to get out of the basement. So it's back to the transformer issue.
Well,
Okay.
I
Yes,
don't
Joan?
remember, you know, I want to go back and look at the film again. I don't remember that in the discussion about this, that it was ever said that they had destroyed the library. I thought we had stuck right with the fact that the bushes had been hurt on the garden, and that the curving had been disturbed. And I thought we had stuck with that. I don't remember any really broad statements. Otherwise, I have to go back and look again. But those were the things that were concerned, and those are the things that you did address with meeting with Troy. So
Okay.
I think we're about done.
I listened to the recording later, and it was not very civil. First of all, if you start talking about other town employees, we do have rules about talking about employees, talking about personnel. Even if you said, we don't know who did this, you're starting to talk about Public Works personnel in a not very nice way without giving anyone from Public Works a chance to defend themselves. Personnel issues have to be done in an executive session.
I don't think there was there any opinion, or was it fact? We have to discuss that. So that's why I say, I think we need to go, before we get into a snit on this one, I think we need to go back and look at the film. And you might be right, but I don't remember that it was personality that way. I remember that it was fact that this is what happened, and these are the people that did it, period. And according to my notes, the upstart was that we have talked with Troy, et cetera, before, according to what we had there. This is not the first time it's gone there. That would be a whole different ballgame, okay? And that Troy was out to talk with Debbie. He did come out and do it, which was nice of him. And there was no opinion expressed. I thought it was more fact.
Okay.
This is what happened. So let's look at the tape again before we get any further in this.
You need to go back and look at that recording, because
That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do.
I would
And then
encourage
we
you
can
all to
see.
watch it back. I actually watched it multiple times and wrote down the quotes. And Debbie and Hope and Karen Ann and I had a good conversation about that. Some of the things that you called for the firing of employees. Elena said, let's make it personal. Another member said they are destroying the property and doing a hack job. I would encourage you all to go back and look and watch that meeting and think and think about the things that were said and how it was handled. And I think it could be handled better. And again, Troy and I left the meeting with Hope, Debbie, and Karen Ann with a good sense of that. So if your board is unsure if those things were said, trust me, they were. And go back and maybe watch your words again. And
Will do.
How it's handled should be done in a different manner.
We have no problem with the library board venting about things. They just should not be doing it on a public forum. If you
We
wanted
have
to,
to. If you've
Yeah, I
got
agree.
four of us
We
together,
have
it is a public forum.
I
okay,
agree.
no, Joan, you need to go back and listen to this. I was
But
not,
that's not the point, Karen. The point is, that it is a public forum, and we already said we're going to go back and look
That's
at
fine.
this.
That's fine.
And you
it
might
started-
be perfectly right. I'm not disputing what you're saying. What I'm saying is that it is a public forum.
Okay, but it started as a public forum. But then when it got into, if somebody had done this to my yard, I would have fired them. They're destroying the library. That is not acceptable in a public forum. That is not fact.
Now, that's a
That
different
is-
issue. Okay.
Until we find them.
But that
Well,
is
I
on
want to
video.
apologize.
Until
I do
after.
want to apologize. That was unclear saying from me. I did not mean personal kind of. I thought if they're doing their job, why wouldn't we stop using them
But you know, if I ask you,
and
you're just gonna
find
get
our
upset.
own company? But if I did say it in a different meaning, I apologize. That would be
Go
wrong. I
ask them
agree.
while I look, okay?
Okay, Joy, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Are you talking to us or the kids?
No, I'm talking to you.
Okay, because you were talking at the same time as Elena, so could you please repeat what you were saying?
I was actually talking to my son, but yes, it is me. I am here.
So
I've been here for a while.
I know you have. I watched it come up. I just wanted to verify that that was you.
Yep, it's me.
Okay, so I encourage people to go back and relook at the recording. And as I said, if you want to express facts, things that you see, that's fine. But when it gets into other stuff, you should have stopped the meeting and discussed it afterwards, because it really, what's on the public forum does not show a good face of the library board. Okay, Erica, do you have anything else you want to add about the meeting?
I don't, again, I appreciate you, Karen Ann and Hope and Debbie taking the time to meet with us. And again, if you have concerns, bring them to us. Certainly, personnel matters are not handled in this forum. And so I just ask you all to be, aware of the direction you're taking things. And I would encourage you to go back and watch again, and you might be a little bit surprised. But thank you for hearing from me. I apologize. I have to handle a matter that's happening here at the town hall.
Okay, thank you for coming, Erica. Okay, so next thing on our agenda is acceptance of the minutes of
Diane?
February 14th. Yes?
Can you, hello, before you change that subject, there is something I would like to share, and I only speak for myself. Debbie Laniers, co-director for One, okay. I would like to extend an apology. During our last library board meeting, I expressed concerns in not the best way. I should have chosen my words more wisely when describing and sharing issues at the meeting, which is a public forum. I've apologized to the person whose name was mentioned, and we discussed the problems that arose, and they will be taken care of as you had expressed earlier on. So that's just something I wanted to share with everybody.
Okay, thank you, Deb, for writing out that statement. I know you were concerned about saying anything, so thank you for writing it out, so you could be clear about what it was you wanted to appreciate it.
Debbie, thank you.
Okay.
That's appreciated.
Does anybody else have something they want to add? Okay, if there's nothing else, then we'll move on to the next part of the agenda, which is acceptance of the minutes of the February 14th meeting. Do I have a motion to accept them?
I make a
Elena?
motion to accept. I make a motion to accept the meeting from the last meeting. What the date is?
February 14th, it was Valentine's Day.
Yeah, February 14th, 2022. Thank you.
Okay. Kathy, are you seconding?
Actually, no, but I'll wait till you do discussion to say what I wanted to say.
We can
Okay, do I-
discuss until it's seconded.
I know.
Do I hear a second? Okay, Rebecca will second.
Yep, I'll
Okay, now we
second
can
it.
open it. Thank you, Rebecca. We can open it up to discussion now, Kathy.
I just wanted to say, I'm gonna have to abstain. I've looked, I should have brought this up sooner. I thought I had everything I needed for this meeting. I don't have any minutes from February 14th. They're nowhere to be found in my email, so.
Okay, is there anybody else who
On the
doesn't have
list.
them?
I also don't have them. I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen either.
Okay.
But you made a motion.
Did it right
Well,
away.
let me resend them. You know, today I thought I ought to resend and I didn't do
Yes.
it.
They should
And I
be-
should have. I copied all of the names. But I'm trying to figure out how that would have happened. I don't
Okay,
know, but
so-
we have had trouble with our computer, but I didn't think it was that far back. So I will resend, and could we just table this until next month and we'll go through?
I think we have to. I don't think we
Yeah,
should.
I don't know
review
how
them.
else. I haven't looked at mine. I think,
Yes.
I'll look at my minutes and see if it came through on mine. I usually look to see if it came through, and I think it did. Let me see.
Okay,
But
so
anyway,
let's just table this
Yeah,
for
I
now.
would. Yeah, just table it for now.
Meeting. Okay, so next thing on the agenda is Rebecca's treasurer report.
Karen Ann, before you go, if we can interrupt for just a moment. So Kelsey started the meeting, but her night is ending here. Debbie and Hope, she's going to make you a co-host, so you should be able to stop the recording when it's done.
Okay,
And then you should be able to end the meeting for all. Okay,
sounds good.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, Kelsey, for doing that. Okay, so, does everybody have Rebecca's treasurer report, or do I need to share my screen?
I have it.
I
Okay,
have it.
okay, so Rebecca, you want to go over that?
Sure. Let me pull it up here. Our beginning balance was $123,163.28. We had $607.49 in revenues, and in expenses, we had $13,649.37, leaving us with an ending balance of $110,109.87. The only relatively unusual things in this report would be we had a building use fee that got paid for the use of the community room in our revenue. And then for our expenses, we've got a negative balance in the building maintenance line item, and that reflects an insurance check that was deposited. Any questions?
No, I think 110,000 is still pretty good, given the fact that we have April, May, June, and half of March. We only have 3.5 months left. I think we're doing pretty good with balance.
Yeah, we should, as long as there's nothing crazy that happens, we should be well within our budget.
Okay, question, do we have a set cost for propane? Are we locked in with the propane cost? Did we end up doing that last year, Deb? Hope, somebody?
Yes, we
Yeah.
are all set. We are locked in. We have contracts, so we're good.
Good, because you don't want to know what my bill for oil looked like.
Oh,
Yeah, Kathy's going, yup. So, as long as we're locked in, then
Yeah.
we're good. Okay, thank you, Rebecca. Direct report. If you're co-host, guys, you should be able to now share your screen.
Excuse me. You can go ahead.
So, the
Ladies,
first-
real
yeah,
quick, I'm gonna make Erica the host because it's not gonna let me transfer it. So I'm gonna make Erica the host so that it continues to record.
okay.
So she'll end the meeting when you guys are done.
Thanks,
Sounds
Kelsey.
good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The first thing we have is our monthly drawings. Our February drawing didn't do too bad. We made $28. Our March drawing, we're pretty excited about because it's a gift box of soy candles from Wolf and Woods. The owner of this candle company is actually a new resident to Willington, and she makes her own candles. She actually made her website and everything. She left a few candles behind so patrons can smell them. She's got her gift card, and they are really taking to it. We even talked to her about possibly collabing in the future, maybe doing a library line. So
Bookworms.
yeah, the bookworm collection. So a fundraising idea for the future. Everybody's really talking about these candles. So for our next month, or for one of the following month, or what for Cinco de Mayo, yeah. We were thinking of trying to get a card from Margaritaville for our April drawing. It'd be a great help if some of the board members can maybe contact them, or different drawings coming up. I think, do we have a couple more? But
Well, we're working on April's just because we're thinking it's a Cinco de Mayo
theme-wise,
theme.
yeah.
We were thinking about if someone could ask for a dinner gift certificate from Margaritaville. So anyone want to do that for us? We could use that help.
How soon does it have to be done?
Sooner the better.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
the
start
end of-
on the 1st of the month, yeah.
So we have a couple of weeks.
Okay, because the thing is, this is something that should probably be done in person, and I'm still not allowed to drive. So if I can,
There's 5 other people. Anybody else want to? Anybody else want dibs on it?
I was gonna say, if I can get the husband to drive me by, I can talk to them, but I don't know when I'm gonna be clear to drive.
Gotcha. Well, any help would be great.
Let us know though if you won't, because we've got to change
Yeah.
the idea, or I don't know, pull time out of the air to try to get there ourselves to.
Okay, is it actually in Wellington? Or is it in Holland?
Where is
It's right on 32, at Mansfield.
It's Mansfield?
Yeah, right on 32.
Well, I know part of 32 is us. I just didn't know.
It's in Mansfield.
It's between 44 and R195.
195.
Okay. If it's
Can I
between
ask a
44 and
quick question here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the idea of, all right, first I want to ask, what is Margaritaville? Is it,
It's a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah.
It's a
okay,
Mexican
okay,
restaurant.
great. Because I'm used to Margaritaville being something totally different.
Just for the record, it's called Margaritas, not Margaritaville. Just, I don't, if we want
Okay,
to
great.
make sure the
because
minutes are correct.
that's the Jimmy Buffett Resort, and I was like, that's probably not appropriate for Cinco de Mayo.
Margaritas.
Margaritas, yeah.
Okay, all right, that answers my question. Thank you so much.
But that's a good point, because it is a Mexican restaurant, not a Jimmy Buffett restaurant.
Well, the whole thing is we did have someone that gave us some really nice items that go along with Cinco de Mayo. So we were thinking of this would be something that would be appropriate to put everything packaged together.
Okay. Can you tell us what they gave you?
All Mexican stuff. It's a set of a plate, cups, napkins, I believe, some decorations. So it's not enough to stand on its own, probably.
Yeah.
That's why we thought if we could have something like a dinner gift certificate, like what Wellington Pizza did for us, to go along with it would make it just more special. More
Okay.
substantial.
And the restaurants, like the coffee, that they're more of a hit. Like I think that was our biggest one, Wellington Pizza. But yeah. Next is our flooding. We are flooded no more. Our electrician came in and plugged up the areas where the water had been coming in. We have all of our conflict of interest form signed. Thank you guys for doing that.
Hope, hold on.
Yep.
Back to the flood issue. You talked to Eversource, right?
Yes, we talked to Eversource because the initial issue was they came to check of whether it would be our problem or their problem, and they concluded it was ours because what they say, anything from the transformer to like the roads is theirs, and then the rest was ours. So it fell into our lap, unfortunately.
So the problem that the transformer is what's leaking, they refuse to take responsibility for. The
Yeah.
concrete pad, the transformer is what's leaking, and they refuse to take responsibility for it.
Well,
Well,
actually, that's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
Our electrician did open up the Eversource transformer box, and when looking at it, it was bone dry. There wasn't an issue in there. Where he thinks the problem is with the piping that goes from the transporter into the building.
It's not
It very
long
well,
enough.
he said, could have been where piping is meeting. It's just PVC piping. Where the joints are, they could have come unsealed. They could have separated with the ground settling, or even when it's installed, sometimes they crack. So the problem is still going on as far as outside the building. So that is something that maybe in time might become a concern. We're always concerned about water getting near the foundation, because we all know water is cement's worst enemy. But right now, as far as it coming into the library and flooding downstairs has been resolved. So,
Okay, the transformer should be dry. It's not the transformer that's leaking. It's the fact that the concrete pad was not raised. The
no,
concrete pad,
actually, we were told both by Eversource and electrician that that isn't ideal, but because we
It's
talked
not
about putting a trench around it, the French trench, we talked about raising it.
Yeah.
And that is not the problem, in that the water is not getting into the transfer station area. It's something with the leaking coming from the pipes below ground level.
okay, because that's the first I've heard of that. Everything I've heard in the past has always been, it's the fact that the concrete pad was too low. Okay,
Well,
thank you.
that makes common sense. That would be the obvious, but it ended up, like I say, when being looked at inside, that there wasn't any water at all there. So it is a below
Okay.
ground thing.
Yeah. Okay, now you can go on. Thank you.
Yeah. Zoom meetings, we did look into further security for our account. Nobody so far has given us any ideas, but as you may know, we're gonna still be using the town's account for these Zoom meetings. And then we just have reminders, our board basics class. Yes,
Hold on. I know we want to get through this fast.
no, that's okay.
Okay, let's make sure that the town Zoom stuff is working, because this is the second month in a row that we have had issues with the town meeting room. So this was supposed to be a brand new meeting room. It was supposed to be just for us. Last time, I was frustrated anyway, because I'd spent the afternoon in the emergency room. So I was frustrated anyway. But once I was told to come out and get out of the town account and go back into my account, my computer somehow linked itself to Parks and Rec and would not go anywhere else. Every time I tried to shut it down and reopen, I went to Parks and Rec. So I just couldn't get into it. And by the time I got to the point where I was calling in, my head was ready to explode. I didn't want anything to do with it. And then today's issue again, where it locked us out of Kelsey's. We need to test this account at somehow. So Hope, Deb, me, we need to get in touch with Kelsey, have her set up a special meeting, make sure that we can get into it.
Okay.
So that we don't have issues anymore. Okay? Thank you. Okay, now we go to reminders.
Yeah, ours is still available to use too. It's just that there's no extra security or anything else. We use it for our staff meetings. We haven't had any issues. But yep.
And we
Yep.
probably would not have had any issues except for the Zoom bombing in the November meeting.
Yeah, exactly. So we're still on the lookout for a new date for the board's basics class. We're waiting to hear from Dawn. And just, we kept the reminder, if there's anything you'd like to ask, to go through the library board information binder. And just another note that our anniversary date is coming up. I know Joan sent this wonderful sheet of ideas for the anniversary, which sound really great. So. And that's
Okay,
all I have.
which anniversary is that? That's the 50th, right?
Yes.
50?
No.
200.
200?
100, wait a minute.
No.
Sorry about that.
So I've been around for 200.
200. 100 years.
100 years. Okay. I knew it was a big one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna make it bigger.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything about the director's report? Okay, no discussion? Okay, we still do not have a vice chair. So the question is, do we have someone who is willing to step up and be vice chair that we could vote in? Because
Uh-oh.
Joy, you there?
Yep, I'm here now. I was hearing some weird music on the other end, but I'm back.
Okay,
I don't know
it's just-
if my phone cut out or not.
we were just getting some weird static. I don't know.
Okay.
So we're looking for people who would be willing to be vice chair. Joy, you were vice chair last year. Are you willing to do it again, or would you rather step down and have somebody else?
If nobody is willing to do it, I'll do it again. But I'm hoping that my health issue will be fine, so I can like take part in meetings and stuff.
And I can relate, Joy, considering the fact that I was in the emergency room the day of the last meeting. I certainly sympathize with your health issues. Elena, she would do it, but she's awfully busy. So,
Okay. If Elena wants to do it, go ahead. Have her do it then.
That's what I said. Elena said if no one else wanted to do it, she would step up, but she's awfully busy. She really doesn't have the
Yes.
time.
Okay. Well, then I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll stay.
Thank you.
So do I have a nomination for Joy for vice chair?
Uh,
Elena?
Elena, yes, I nominate Joy for the position of the vice chair.
Okay, do I have a second? Kathy, second?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, no discussion then. All in favor of Joy as vice chair, raise your hand or say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
Rebecca, Elaine, Jones, raise hands. Joy and I say aye, so that's unanimous. Thank you. Okay, so old business, the building, we've talked about the flooding issue. We still have not heard back from Synaxo, and that is something we have got to get on their case about. If not, we've got to find another contractor. The fact that they were in town, they were right there on 74 was nice, but they complained when I first went to see them back in November that Ralph had talked to them a year before and never gotten back to them. And now we're bugging the crap out of them. Deb is bugging the crap out of them, and they're not responding to us. So this is something that we have to figure out what to do. We can look into finding somebody else and seeing what their estimate would be, trying to get that done. It's just the sealing, the cracks, and that sort of stuff that needs to be done. It should be minimal work. It should only be maybe $5,000 or $6,000, right, Deb? Isn't that what they were talking about?
And when we were in person, they were talking that kind of a price, which is why we've been waiting for the quote, so we know exactly what we're talking about. So we were hoping that's true in what they had said.
Right. But like I said, we haven't gotten back from them. So that is something that we're going to have to work on, either, get them to give us a quote or find somebody else that could possibly give us a quote. I was concerned at a meeting a couple of months ago about the fact that Deb and Hope have no egress from the building. If there was an issue at the front desk, they have no way to get out. And I mentioned it at a meeting where Mike McCoo said that wasn't an issue because he talked to the fire chief, and the fire chief said that they were close enough to an exit that they were fine. Well, the exits are the front of the building or through the children's library or downstairs. The only way out of the offices is through that one door, which leads to the front desk. And yes, it may be close enough to an exit, but it still is an issue. But Synaxo was supposed to give us the name of someone who could talk to us about doing that. And since Synaxo hasn't gotten back to us, we don't know anything about that either. So is there anything else going on with the building that we need to talk about?
Can I interrupt here?
Of course.
Okay, I want to say, I'm looking at the writing about this exit. So the fire chief came in and walked through the building with you and then said it was fine.
A fire chief, I don't know who, walked through the building with Mike McCoo. I don't know what fire chief, a fire chief. Mike didn't tell me who.
When did, you know, I'm finding it a little unbelievable, frankly.
Okay,
Because-
I don't know when this occurred. As far as I know, it could have occurred when the building was built 15 years ago.
Yeah,
Mike,
see,
did that-
that's what I'm wondering. And I'm, you know, I guess because we're science people, we're used to 2 exits for every room kind of thing because of our jobs. But I just find it a little hard to believe that he would go with that. And frankly, it would be nice to talk to him and see what he's really saying, other than it's okay. We may
Yeah.
have information on what we know or what we understand. And so it would be nice if this is a concern, that we do see the fire chief, or that somebody, that he come over and he talk with you about it as your chair of the committee.
So I can send an email to Mike and see if he can give me more details on it. The other
I
thing
think,
is,
why Mike? I don't
Because
understand it.
Mike is the one who told me that he had talked to a fire chief and the fire
Yeah.
chief said it was okay. So I need to
Okay.
get more details on
Okay, but I
Exactly.
think, yeah, okay. Okay,
Karen,
thanks.
I recommend that you reach out to the fire marshal. The town has a fire marshal. If you have questions about that, I would start with reaching out to Dick Palmer.
that. De Palma, is that what you said, Erica?
Dick Palmer.
Oh, Dick Palmer. I thought you said De Palma. Dick Palmer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so our fire marshal can certainly give you guidance.
Okay. And I do know that OSHA is not thrilled about external fire escapes, but the only other option is there's a closet behind Deb's desk. I do not know what's on the floor underneath. But if that just opens up to the community room downstairs, possibly putting an internal staircase in and a lock on that door so nobody comes up while they're having meetings downstairs.
If you put the closet straight through, I can't really picture the floor plan. If you put a door behind the closet and created a passway, would it go into the stacks?
It would go into the stacks, which would then require you forward from the stacks and either going out the front door or downstairs.
Well,
And I don't-
that's a second exit from their room, though. That would be acceptable.
It is a second exit.
Yeah,
Um,
yes. So
so-
that might be the way to do it. But we'll have to talk with the fire chief, you know, and get his impression. He may think that's not very satisfactory.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay.
Thank
Okay,
you,
can I,
Erica. Look Kim up. Yes, Joan?
I wanted to bring up another issue with the building. Went to the movie last week. It was really good. Enjoyed it very much. Nice afternoon. It was so darned cold in there that we can't possibly invite the seniors to come for movies if the downstairs is going to be that bad. I think somebody needs to look at the heating system, or I don't know who we have, if we even have a contractor, an HVAC contractor or something, but we really need to look at the heating system and find out why it was so cold, because Debbie said she had turned the heat up. And it realized that, well, I'm elderly and the other man there was older, and we feel the cold. I never believed it before when I was younger, but guess what? And we really feel the cold. So I'm going to suggest that we throw it to your committee to kind of pay attention to what's going on with the heat.
Okay, Deb and Hope, have you noticed anything?
Yes, matter of fact, we're working on it. We're not quite sure what the issue is. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We don't know if it's a thermostat kind of a problem or something more serious.
Yeah.
So
Internal.
yes, since Joan was here last Friday, we are aware, we're going to be looking into it further.
Okay, thank you. Okay, does anybody else have anything that they want to discuss for business? I have no new business on the agenda because I didn't really have anything to bring up. But is there anything anybody else wants to bring up? Okay, if nobody else has anything they want to bring up, then it's present to speak. Mary Pat, do you have anything you'd like to say? Since you're the only one here. Okay, I'm not hearing from Mary Pat. I don't know if she doesn't have anything to say or she doesn't know she's muted. Okay, but if there's no one present to speak, are there any other last concerns that we need to talk about?
Nope.
Okay, because we put in so much work in January and February to get this budget done, then I would be happy to have a short meeting today. I'm restricted to screen time of less than 2 hours. And so it's been an hour and 20 minutes for me because I have been on the computer since 10 minutes to 7 trying to get into this meeting. So I personally would like to quit if no one else has anything to say. So do I have a motion to adjourn? I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Who is-
Joy.
Oh, okay,
Who-
Joan, Karen made the motion, Joy seconded.
Who seconded it?
Joy.
Joy,
Okay, thank you, Joy.
you're welcome.
All in favor? Aye. Rebecca, you're muted and frozen. Amy, you're muted and frozen.
Hi.
Okay. Okay, so everybody have a good night. And we will look into some of those issues and present them at our April meeting, see if we can get more of this stuff done on the building. Everybody have a good night.